Currently finishing off the main building adjoining the greenhouse, and we're just going with a board and batten there at the top. I've got a lot of boards left over from when I did the walls the first time around, that I only need 36 inches up there at the top after putting on this leftover siding that I was given. And as I'm sawing those boards up, it's working out excellent that I have barely any left over. So I've got a whole pile of these here boards, and they seem to all be, well, they're all leftovers, and they're just over 3 feet long, and that's exactly the measurement I need. So I've got very little waste coming out of this project. I'm just going to mark that. So that's it. Whole bunch of boards I bought for siding, only wasting an inch or two at the very end. That's what I like to see. I try to use everything that I have over here to save on as many materials as I can. Better for the environment. Plastic is going on the greenhouse front wall. Unfortunately, I've hit a bit of a windy day. It's going to make it a bit more challenging as I work along here trying to get my staples to hold. But I just put a bar here at the bottom, this piece of strapping, and just temporarily fixed that on there to see where I have to cut this. So now I have something for a guide to run my scissors down. And then once I had cut this off, I have to go to the far end there and see if I can piece that together with some plastic over there. So now to keep going there, I'm just going to take the screw out from this corner. There we go. And then we'll fasten it on down there on that end. This is great. I've got most of the plastic cut now. Really difficult working with the wind here today. But I'm cutting the last bit of plastic off, and that's helping a little bit that it's not all catching this excess plastic with the wind. And so I just have to pull it tight as I go across my guide bar here, and then I know I have enough plastic to come right to the bottom of the wall. And what I actually plan to go below the plastic here on the wall is going to be all rock. So I've got a big job still to fill in a foundation sort of under this. That rock is going to be able to warm up with the sun and radiate heat into the greenhouse when the weather gets cold. To cut my boards going on the front here, the front wall, they hold the plastic in place with pressure, and I just line up the bottom down here with the piece that's below it, and then line it up with the crook up there. And I've just been taking a nail and making my mark. So now I have an angle cut to make with the saw, and I'll knock the top of this here board off, and then it'll fit right in underneath that piece of strapping over here and hold my plastic down tight against the wall. I happen to have a couple holes at the very end of this roll, so now I'm into going back and loosening some screws on the last one that I tightened down and splicing another piece in to run across the remaining maybe 8 feet of this structure. Just in case anyone's wondering, to do these angle cuts, I just turn my board over and go to the high side of the angle, which would be up here. Then we're going to use the speed square to make a mark across the top. With my foot on the board in one spot, I look for where my mark is. I start my saw cut on the angle that it's supposed to be on. It's a little difficult to hold my phone and do this. There it is. And then I just straighten my saw out a little bit, and I make sure that I run across this top line nice and straight here. And you usually get a pretty good angle cut. I've backed my screws off of this here board there in the middle and at the bottom. It's just the top one that's holding it on now. That relieves the pressure so that I can slide my next piece in now underneath that and bring it across to the end of the building. Okay, it's getting late here in the evening. The days are getting really short. We're coming to the end of October, almost Halloween, my favorite holiday. The greenhouse project is going awesome. This is the top boards I've been piecing in the last night here, running all along this edge to keep this plastic from blowing up in the wind. And it will still, though, looking downwards, shed water and snow straight from the top here all the way down and off of the roof. So we should be able to keep this greenhouse roof clean quite easily. I'm just putting my last piece on. I'm just fitting my last piece in right here. There. It's hard to look through the lens of this camera and line stuff up. So, and if I'm not looking through the camera, then I've probably got it moving around all crazy. So that's going to create a clean edge for me running along here. That's a couple inches thick. And that is going to in turn allow me to put another board on the face of this that's going to run the entire length down here, and that board is going to cover over my support beam that supports the roof, so it will be totally out of the weather. But also whatever angle this board ends up on, I'm hoping it's going to match with the way that I want to bring the back end of this greenhouse out, and it'll form the platform for me to put my support beams on from this end and run them down. So from up here again, we'll get a board on here, and then we'll put our support beam on here running down this way, and then we'd have to do this side of the roof likely in the spring. So I likely won't get much more done with this year. We're getting into the end of October. The weather's going to start getting really bad, and the days are getting really short, and it's difficult to do carpentry work in the dark. But we'll probably pick this up next spring and finish off the back of it and a couple other things that I'm thinking of doing to seal this in. Cheers, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. We greatly appreciate it.